Hi, everybody. This is step by step to brainwashing her into falling in love, and I'm just going to say it's ethical because she wants you to do this. This is why women cannot leave men who do this to them. This is why women only fantasize about these type of men, because deep down she wants this type of guy, and this is the only way you're going to come out of this ahead. If you've been jaded by women in the past, if you've been heartbroken, you're going to need to know this, okay? Now, number one, the first key to brainwashing a woman is really taking charge of each interaction. And women are pleased when they know they can please their man. What I mean by this is we need to make her qualify to us. We do this by taking charge of the interaction. On the approach, we're telling her what you're there for right off the bat. We're not beating around the bush. We're not giving her compliments about her clothing and then at the end of it trying to work in the number. No, we're walking up. We're being masculine in our approach. We're saying, hey, I wanted to meet you. I dig how you look. I think we might get along. What's your name? Boom, right there, right off the bat. And you're leading each date and decisions. Meaning you're deciding when the date starts, when it's over, where you're going, all that stuff. You're also setting the frame for how you expect her to carry herself if she's with you. Let me give you an example. I was on a date last night, and the woman I was with started to say some things that I wasn't okay with in public, and I told her right afterwards, I didn't make a fool out of her, I didn't make a fool out of me, but what I said is if you're with me, I expect you to carry yourself a little bit better than that. Because you see, fellas, I have a standard. The reason why most of you guys are fucking up is because there is no standard. And what I'm also doing is I'm making sure that the responsibility is off of her. So after I told her that there's a standard, I said, hey, it's not your fault. I just probably didn't set the boundary clear enough. Or I didn't set that, or I didn't tell you that up front. So it's my fault, but in the future, just do that. Notice how I'm taking the responsibility off of her because as a man, you got to realize women don't own up for shit. Women don't think anything is their fault. That's just how it is. As the man, you got to take control and dictate the whole situation. Now, in the interaction, you're also starting to seduce and make the moves that can get to her to essentially feel a certain type of way. And when it comes to sex, you're also leading that. When it comes to sex, you're telling her what type of positions you want. You're telling her how you want it. You're telling her to please you. All of those things are so key. Number two, you're showing that you're dominant through sub-communication and what you like in a woman. So you got to know this. Women are pleased when they know that they can please their man. You have to know this. Women are pleased when they know that they can actually make their man happy. If she's never trying to make you happy, it's because she doesn't view you as a strong option for her. And women stray when the man has no confidence to direct her. If you're struggling to direct her how you want her, what you want her to do for you, with you, all of those things, it's going to look and resemble low confidence. You also have to start to qualify her non-sexually. One of the things I always do to get women to get me some buy-in investment is I love McDonald's Egg McMuffins. If it's like a second date or something, or a third, and maybe she's on her way to my house, I call her up and I'm always like, hey, can you swing through the drive-thru and grab me a quick McMuffin? If they say yes, that means that they're starting to invest in me non-sexually. That's what I like. Because the thing is if she's expecting dates and stuff from me, I'm going to need a little something something too. I'm also qualifying her sexually. I'm making sure she pleases me in the bedroom. Okay, no, I'm not watching porn to please myself. I'm making sure that my interactions with women are sexual and fruitful. And I'm never taking her too seriously. I specifically say things all the time like, I like flirty girls. Or I like girls who just like to have fun. Or if she's acting all rowdy, I tell her to chill out. Just act a little girly. Okay, I tell her this so that way I can put her back into frame. I can put her back into just taking the responsibility off of her. I'm also asking her for favors and showing her care. And having her show care, just like I kind of showed you with the McMuffin. And I'm making her invest by leading the interaction so she stays compliant. Yes, fellas, compliance is key. If your woman acts out of pocket and is not compliant, let me tell you what's going to happen. Eventually, when you're dating her, she's going to post a thong picture on Instagram, and it's going to pull 400 likes, and you're going to go, why the hell did you do that? And you're going to be bitter. I'm telling you, start setting the framework. And to those of you going, oh my God, I can't believe he says compliant, or I can't believe he says dictate outcome or lead the decisions. Do you understand this is what she wants? She doesn't want a pushover. She doesn't want a guy who can't lead her. She's going to tell you she wants a nice guy. That nice guy is going to get burned every single time. Now, the third thing that we do is we get her to chase and to pursue. And we're never giving your full validation or compliments. We're never saying, oh, honey, you're so beautiful. We're never doing any of that thing, because all that does is that just heightens her ego. Okay, we get her to invest in us. We're also giving every sign that you like her, but we never directly say it. This is where a lot of men fuck up. They verbally confess their love. Now, we'll show that we like her by spending some time with her, or getting in the sheets with her, or entertaining on dates. We don't necessarily start saying this and confessing this. That's going to turn her off. We also are making her work for your time because you're busy and high value. Not fake high value where you're just playing mind games with the phone. We're actually high value out working on our purpose. Like I said, the all-important week one. We're also coming from a frame of abundance. She has to know that if she leaves you, you're going to be just fine because you have all the tools in your tool belt to attract another woman. And you realize this is what almost every woman does to every man. They get the man to chase and pursue. Now, we're going to start getting these women to chase and pursue us. Okay? And we do this by moving into step 4. So up until this point, the interaction has been set. We know each other on these dates. We're going out. We may be intimate. Number 4 is going to be very important. Pulling back from time to time. And I don't want you guys playing games. I want you guys that busy. I also want you high value. I also want you to have options. So that way, if you guys want to have a boys' night out, or your bros are going out, or you're going to go grab a beer with your friends, you just tell her that. And you pull back from time to time. You let her mind wander. And you may even have other women if you're not exclusive. That's fine, because you got to realize women only want what other women have. And pulling back shows that you really do have the emotional strength to not necessarily need her. Women only submit to the guy that doesn't necessarily need her. The minute she knows that this man needs her is the minute she pulls back and realizes that this is not a strong, viable option for her. Number 5. We got to let her know that the man still has it. Now, women will often pull back from a man over time that has really just day by day became more and more feminized. And I call this death by 1,000 cuts. This is one more I love you text that you shouldn't have put. This is one more honey-do list that you shouldn't have done. All of these is death by 1,000 cuts. If you had it in the beginning and you guys were having great sex, or she was very into you in the beginning and now she's not, it's specifically because your woman feels as if you don't have it anymore. And what has to happen is that she has to know that even if you're seeing her, and even possibly exclusively, she must always know that if her man went out for one night, that he would still have it. He would still be able to pull. He would still be able to flirt. He would still be able to have good communication. And this is just key. And this comes from not putting her at the focus. This comes from putting yourself and your life and your guidelines at the center of your focus at all times. And your girl needs to know that you still have game no matter what. 99% of men fuck this part up. You have to check yourself every day. You have to wake up in the mirror. You have to journal. You have to jot your stuff down that you have to do. And you have to ask yourself, do I still got it? If you're in a relationship with a woman and you've been seeing her and you start to drift off that path, I'm telling you, you're going to lose it. You have to check yourself daily. Number 6. We start to become mysterious when most men would just be loving. So here's the thing. If she ever says these things, if she ever goes, I feel like we don't spend enough time together. If she goes, I feel like sometimes you're just there and other days you're not. If she says, I feel like some days you don't even care. Also, if she says, I feel like you will never put our relationship first in your life, you have her exactly where the hell you need her. You have her uncertain. And since you have her uncertain, that's going to heighten her attraction. Why is that? Because she can find a very compliant, nice guy anywhere walking down the street. It's only in a woman's mind where turmoil happens is where she will fall in love. And in a woman's mind, uncertainty builds love. And you gotta not hate me for telling you this. I didn't hardwire these women like this. God did. And your response to all this is probably something like, it's got to be something like, oh, baby, don't be silly. You know how I feel about you. Or, you know daddy still loves you. Or it's like when his actions don't necessarily match his words, the woman's mind is beyond hooked. Because if she says, I feel like you don't put our relationship first, and you go, oh, baby, you know how I feel about us. You go, clearly I do. Right? So you're saying that, but then your actions never match it. That is what's going to hook her. Uncertainty. Being mysterious. Now, understanding good sex cannot make up for poor game. And these are the 6 steps. This is what it's going to take. So the first, take charge of each interaction. Show through sub-communication what you need in a woman and make her do that. 3 is getting her to chase and pursue. 4 is pulling back from time to time. 5 is going to be letting her know that you still have game. And then 6 is going to be being mysterious when most would just be loving. If you can do those, you're in good hands. Now, you got to understand that good sex cannot necessarily make up for poor game. If you're not doing everything from week 1 that you should be, you will have no game, period. I've never met a guy who has just amazing game with women that isn't just a total stud in other aspects of his life. Doesn't happen. Doesn't work like that. And I want you to never fully put her at the number 1 spot. Never fully putting her at the number 1 spot will make her fall in love. Because she craves your validation, she doesn't crave you. Here's what's going to happen. If you put her as number 1 of your priority list, as soon as she gets to that spot, she's going to pull back. Every time. She's going to find another guy that will not put her at number 1. As soon as the man gives her no validation, she's hooked and wants it from him. Despite being able to get it from others, all the other men in the inbox that want to be with her, she doesn't necessarily want it from those men. Now, here's the thing, fellas. I've had complete dimes cry in front of me or other men that have pulled very attractive women that they've pulled back from because that woman didn't necessarily mesh with their life. And these women will oftentimes say something like, I'll never find somebody like you, or they're completely torn apart, even though their inbox has 100 men in it. You realize she doesn't want the validation from everybody. She wants the validation from the guy who won't necessarily give it to her. Now, not only can you brainwash a woman to love by doing these, but you got to remember that you will basically remain at the highest point of value at all times, but beware, this can psychologically destroy a woman. This isn't necessarily good guy game. This isn't necessarily good guy play by the rules. This can really fuck up her life. And I'm not telling you to do this. But what I am telling you is I'm telling you that if you know these things, you can prevent yourself from a pullback and getting heartbroken and getting taken by a woman. And that's key. That's what you're going to need to do. This is how you step-by-step brainwash.